So, ready? Are you ready?
Wait, open or?
Yeah. Full order. Yay. Wave.
It's official.
It's
Yeah.
official. Accepting the minutes from last month. Everyone get a chance to read them? I didn't see any issues.
I was not present last.
Oh, fine. That's right. Anyone? Motion to accept last month's minutes? Motion moved, yes, adjourned. Okay, so next thing, city budget. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. What was the total amount for the street trees? Do you have a copy of it?
Two. Second copy. It adjusted slightly, but it's roughly the same number now. 9,498.
So 9,000-ish, right? Fine.
95.
Okay, 95. So we had about, I want to say, what did I say?
13 plus. Yeah.
Plus, but let's say 13.5, less the 1,800 for the forester, which was paid out this month. Okay, so that's going to be done. That's a done deal. And then what else do we have? We entered $76. Fine. So okay, so that's where we are right now. So it's, let's say 13.5 less 18 less 76 is where we're at. There's approximately ish,
Doing a math.
right?
It's not doing it for me. I don't know why.
Anyway, so all in favor of paying, okay, do you want to tell us about what
Oh.
you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a hold of Jill, spacing her name, last name. Anyways, the principal of MCSES, the elementary school. She was interested in having an event for Earth Day. She ended up getting a bunch of students together to, I purchased little round wooden label things and some wire and some linseed oil. What else did I purchase? I think that was it, those three things. And I've just brought them to her, and she had kids make the labels, and she took photographs of them putting the labels on the trees.
And they look great.
Very cute,
Yeah.
and they're great.
Oh,
They're perfect.
Done.
done.
I was wondering if it's appropriate to post any of those photos on
I think-
Instagram.
I think it's okay. That was
It is
the
with,
idea.
it is with kids.
It's
Right.
with kids, that's why I wondered.
I'll find out.
Ask them if it's okay.
Yes.
See if it's okay. All right, so.
By the
then-
way, it's 2,000 left roughly.
Sorry, say again.
2,000 left.
Okay, fine, good, yeah, as long as it's. So all in favor of Aaron's reimbursement for the circles? For the blue
Yeah,
circles?
labels.
Aye.
Aye, thank you, yay. So the process is approve it,
Yeah,
I send it to the,
totally.
they cut your check. next
Gotcha.
month. Oh, let's see, maybe you might see it this month.
Oh my God, this is cute.
Adorable. Those are great pictures.
Yeah, I'll ask.
And new members, welcome everyone, welcome Nora.
Always.
Okay, good.
So welcome. So what kind of happens is that, we just go through the agenda every month and feel free to involve yourself in whatever project you feel so moves, whatever moves you. Okay, great. Taking pictures. Okay. Speaking of taking pictures, do we now have access to the CAC Instagram account?
I do.
We do. Great. Maybe Michael, do you want to own that or do you want to?
I have the password and stuff. I'm happy to share it with others if they want to post things on there. Yeah, so it's up to y'all. If you want to send stuff to me to be your what do they call it? Social media manager. I'm happy to do that as well.
We do have some followers.
We do. We have quite a few actually.
Yeah, Vanessa was good with it. Yeah, so, all right, great.
I'm sorry, just to backtrack 1 second. Where would we be posting these photographs? On our website?
Instagram.
Instagram
Instagram, yes.
for the CAC.
For
That's
the
it?
CSC, that's it.
And that's gonna help us get the grant for the next portion?
Well,
time out, he says.
Well, I mean, look, we don't have to post the pictures, right? We don't have to post them.
I don't think we have to.
Yeah, no. The grant has already been paid for. They are just looking that we actually did that task.
Right,
They don't need to see pictures of kids.
no,
The question around posting it on Instagram would be around whether or not we just want to publicize
right,
what's happening and
Okay.
CSC's doing
Right.
activity.
Okay.
Involve them with the
right.
I think Tyler maybe
Yeah.
just send some photos to him.
Yeah, like we might send some
This was
photos,
done.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
to DEC, we might send them to DEC so they can
Okay.
close that out.
Okay. All right, thank you. Tyler, me, Tyler,
Tyler,
it's
Yeah.
Tyler.
all right, and then since we're on that topic, I'll just close it up where we're at with that. Is that, I sent an email to,
Nancy.
Danae, no, Danny from the contracting company.
Oh, yeah.
Because I need to replace the trees in the fall. So we still have an outstanding contract. I mean, the funds have all been paid with them. So let's go back to the Harry Howard trees. That's what I'm talking about. So that has all been paid for by the DEC. So city's been completely reimbursed with that. The contract is still out there because we're still waiting on the contractor to come back and replant the trees that have.
And they've agreed to that now.
They've agreed to it. They've agreed to do it in the fall. So we have one more email out with them to like set a date. So it's like a done deal. The DEC can then close out the contract along with your task of the tree labels. I'm unsure of the water jobs. That's the question.
I think they require them for another year.
On the trees?
I think so.
I think so too.
So I was gonna ask Rob, like,
I mean, the gator bags are not enough.
thinking for data bags, I think for another year.
All right, fair enough. Okay, do you mind asking Rob about the water jugs? Oh,
No.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you mean the water tank versus the gator bags? Because there's the water tank and then there's the gator bags.
Right.
And then we have the gator bags. We know that we have gator bags.
So
Yeah, I just want
what,
the
Just
gator
fill it.
bags, yeah.
Just fill it.
They install gator bags again and fill them up.
Yeah.
Please, during the year.
Yeah.
That's gonna get,
It's gonna get.
It is.
and
That's
The thing is, the water jug something that you don't need the gator bags? The water jug's
are they in competition or is there one running and the other?
they never got a tank. That was the whole thing.
Right.
So they filled them up by some other method as far as
I mean, that might be the rest of the money that we have sitting out there.
Yeah.
We can see have water jugs.
If we need to, because they let us have money anyway, or did Tyler indicate that we needed to get that?
I just was wondering where it was.
Yeah.
And then I think Rob said, we don't need it. We didn't buy
It wasn't,
They
it wasn't in
didn't
the
buy.
contract.
They
It
didn't
wasn't in the
buy. That was proposed by Hillary, I think. So whoever wrote the grant. I think Hillary said, it was one of the items, line items. But it's stuck in.
one at a time.
So it's-
Hey, hold on.
We're cross-talking, sorry.
So
my
he's thinking,
fault.
where's the water tank? But it was never purchased. They filled them up, however they filled them up.
So it's a big question mark.
Yeah.
DPW or the
contractor?
Well, do you want to just figure out what we need to?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Can I ask a question? When winter comes next year, should we have a plan to remove the gators?
Yeah, well, I think, again, Rob did it in a time, he did it before, we remember it was what, like September, October, check it. here, And we had called in Tyler to look at the trees, they had just taken them out.
Yeah.
Because it was wet on them, around their little
Yeah,
stems.
I guess it's well, we're already up. It's already been a year. So we're obligated to water them like that. To get very slow to the water, so.
Yeah.
we were told that. So when the new ones come in, we'll do something.
Yeah.
All right, I will follow up on the actual tree planting. If you do, fine, call. See if we even need to get it done. All right, let's go back. The water source protection program we talked about last month. I don't think it's- Yeah, there's too much to do with too little time. So we don't have the resources to go after that. Not this time, but maybe next year. Light bulb exchange program. farmer's market, big round of applause, like.
We did 50, we gave away 50 bulbs. I have I sent the photograph to everybody. I'm just gonna try and find it, see how many families we sent. It's two, see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 families.
That's first. Wow.
Great question, I don't remember.
I do know, but I don't have it written down right now. It's a web listed 60 watts, but LED, yes, all of that. So yeah, and I followed up. We now have distributors at Greater Hudson Promise, Spark Hudson, and at the City Clerk. So they're doing signage. Greater Hudson Promise has a big event with community cleanup, 300 families. I gave them 60 bulbs. Some of the others have like 30, 48. The library just got back to me. They'll take them as well.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just starting with a chunk and then I'll redistribute as needs be.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Show me those on Instagram.
Yeah, I was waiting to like get all the people in place and then say, you can go to these handy sites. Yeah.
Do they all have sheets?
Yep, they all have a shade.
Love it. Thank you. So cover bases. Yeah, great. Thank you, Andrew, for doing it.
Yeah, thanks for the storage space.
We'll need to order some more soon.
All right. But would you do the same, by the way?
Well,
Same bulb.
you all have to get some and give me feedback.
I need some. Okay, the EV card rights. Okay, so that is a big wahoo. Because there's no way we're gonna be able to put in a level 3 charger behind City Hall. So that's not gonna happen. The most we could hope for is a level 3 charger down by the dog park area. So, because that's where we have the voltage launch. We're still looking at by the Amtrak parking spot to put the level 2, similar to what we have currently here behind City Hall. But the level, like I said, the level 3, there's no way we can put it here. There's just, they came, they saw, they said, down by the dog park is not ideal, but that's really the only place it's actually happening. We don't have any space, so problem anyway. So, and that's still a question mark too. So that'll have to be sorted out. But that's where Rob's service is here. We already have gotten, the whole grant total was about 87 grand. We've gotten in 12,000 so far. So, which is just sitting with the treasurers right now. And then they just signed, we had to do the amended contract because of the location. So the city just signed that today, the amended contract. So that went back to NYSERDA. And we have a year to get them. So that's where it's at. There is two people. Yes.
The 87,000 you're mentioning is specifically associated with the EVSDs.
Yes, the 87 is that the whole, yes. 75 is specifically for that. I believe there are 12 yes as well. Although if we also have to replace one of the ones that are here, which is gone, right, which is out of warranty. So that's like 5 grand. So the extra money we have to replace this one over here too. And then if there's any extra money beyond that, then we might have extra.
Very good.
So there's a big couple of ifs. So let's see what actually happens. But yeah, one step at a time at that. And I have the contact with the 2 people on National. There's 2 people at National Grid who's, from what I understand, it's their job to see where these power lines go and the projects, and that if any trees need to be taken down because of that. So hopefully by the Amtrak station, by the dog park, there will be minimal, if any, tree impact.
So we're talking about how many?
Same as here. So there'll be 3 stations, 6 ports. Right. We have to increase the, right now we charge $75 an hour. We have to increase that. That's actually kind of a deal. And we have to figure out, that's a whole other process, but we will be increasing the current rate. Right. Based upon because that was 5 years ago. So electricity rates have gone up So we gotta fix it. That's it. That's all I got on that. That's a project. Okay, Arbor Day.
Yes, so we are underway. All sites have been marked, and I believe all have been cleared at this point. There was one that had to be remarked. And I've contacted all of the recipients. They're aware the trees are coming and they have to sign their street tree pledge. There is one issue that just came up around the side on 215 Union that has a stump in the current tree pit. And a question around removal of that. So the latest message out from Rising Run supplier to Rob was around whether or not DPW can do that removal. So all DPW, I think, Rob has communicated does is cut the concrete and remove that material.
Yeah, so
So there's a bit of a question there about how that's going to proceed. I haven't heard yet back from them about it, but I'm hoping to hear something soon.
I doubt that Rob has the equipment
Yeah,
to
exactly.
do that.
And they're looking at whether or not they have the capacity to do it themselves. Yeah. Okay. And then all the trees have been ordered at this point too, so they either have them in hand or they will be.
How many did you say?
There's 9 new trees total, and we're also relocating one of our other street trees that was at down on Lower Union. It's going across the street to another person who made a request.
Right.
Very easy relocation.
So we have all, by the way, thank you very much for doing that. Thank you. So we have all of our trees accounted for this year.
Yep. All of them.
Are there any people who are waiting on trees?
Yes, yes. And more people are now putting their names up. When we believed we were going to be able to do a fall planting, I put something on Instagram and a number of people added their names. Since we know we don't have the budget for that, I've since removed it,
Yes.
though I've still had other people come communicate with me. And we had other people on the list already who weren't able to provide trees to, so.
James and Jameson, you know them on State Fifth, are they going to tree by the way?
They're not on this current list, no.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, so anyone who's not on the list, could we contact the extra people and tell them that they're slated for next year, which we do?
Well, we can't until we clear the sites, that we have to go and make sure they're actually viable sites, yeah.
Fair enough.
But I can contact who's on there and say, we have your name,
Yeah.
we'll be doing an assessment for next spring. Yes, yeah,
I think some people don't even realize you can.
yeah. And most people who've done new requests who've had queries, I've told them that, I'm like, do you want to do your own?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because you can,
And
because that's a great idea to include that.
I mean, a lot of people don't have money to do it, but.
right, they can just do it. And we can't, people also realize that we can't plant on Warren Street either.
No requests have come in on Warren recently, so.
There's a process, right, that DPW has if someone wants to install their own.
Yeah, it's a separate form, it's on the site, so I've linked to the site in the past for some messages.
And all they have to do is we just okay that it's a native,
Why?
there's no wires and
This is a wire.
everything we're doing. Yeah, that's a problem.
Which
So-
means the ones we have there, we need to like take care of.
Yeah. So Phil Houston's email, perhaps, maybe we should just pave the spots. Can we add bushes? No, we can't add bushes. Shrubs?
Maybe planting, yeah.
Yeah, little things. Can we do raised things where the holes are?
Just do raised beds.
There's like,
I mean,
there are things for our parents that can't be done, that could be done.
Um,
There.
yeah.
There's that's.
I mean, we asked for double the money. They said no. So we tried.
Well, one thing I will be, just as a tangent to this, one of the things I'm looking at doing this year is researching grants to potentially help with urban tree plantings to do maintenance work. So we can get in and sort of work with some of those tree pits, try to expand them, or at least remove those ridiculous metal things that no longer fit.
Mhm.
General general care.
Side note, Britt Zuckerman,
Mhm.
she just got a grant from Spark. So she'll be doing a little pollinator garden back in, near Ecclebrook Park.
Oh, really?
Place where you would, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's official yet, so I don't.
You,
That's not in the minutes, but yes, side note.
you mentioned she might be a good person to reach out if we wanted to do some kind of maintenance for grant writing potentially, you said, or?
Or Spark, the money's from Spark. Yeah. So there's money out there.
Our Tracy subcommittee needs to meet against.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's money out there and she's doing a little pollinator garden out at Ecclebrook Park, but like, it's not official.
Well, that's really cool.
Okay, fine. Next, tree ordinance. Who's on tree ordinance? Like, who I have? Oh, me? Yes.
I think basically where we are is I will go up at the legal meeting tomorrow.
Oh, good.
That was successful the last time I did this, so we forward with Margaret and do it again and hopefully meet for
Good, thank you.
but it was,
It's great, as long as it's moving forward.
yeah, Margaret is in favor, but then she has to set to do, so I definitely like, we should ask the city council around particular questions about what hours and actions are given to the review and enforcement. And unless you can tell the
Yeah.
council to sometimes something like that, consider some questions. Yeah, I don't know. Give me your other hand.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, wait, I'm sorry, go back.
So there's like an open question
Yes,
around what hours DPW and code enforcement
Oh.
have without, with or without a charter change. And I'd rather this, I don't have the knowledge or ability to answer that question. The city council presumably can, but I can't just like go and make city council.
I mean, that is the issue with anything, is that how do you enforce it?
Yeah.
You know,
You know, but like,
Yeah.
there's also this like other question, but I can't even answer the question because I'm not a lawyer. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, it's a question, and that's why we bring it up to legal too, because yes, I mean, we can make a proposal,
Yeah,
and then, I don't know.
yeah, I can go back, I will go back, as long as I go back to the weekend, because I need to get someone who is not needing to send, I don't know, or anything.
I mean, did you speak to Craig?
Yeah, I mean, once there.
Yeah.
I talked to Brian. But like, both of them were like, I don't know, I don't think that I have the power to do any of this, and so the question from Margaret was whether or not they were correct in their assessment, having a lawyer actually.
I mean, we have a hard time
That's that.
enforcing the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, we don't have the resources to enforce that. Or vacancy tax.
It's all
vacancy tax.
choices, right? But at least, whether I have this, so,
Well, one step at a time.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you. Community choice aggregation.
This is also currently sits with legal. I've sent to Margaret, an email that I forwarded around to folks. With the proposal from Howard Markets that someone of you chimed in on, thank you for your feedback. And just for those who maybe weren't paying that much attention to it, the recommendation was to engage Howard Markets as an administrator to sort of track the rate, the gas, the electricity supply rate, to see if at some point it makes sense financially for us to commit to that, but to pursue the community solar part of their proposal. It should seem like a win-win for, to save money for some residents. And I forwarded it to Margaret recently to have in the review, and see if there are any questions. I haven't gotten acknowledgement that it was received yet. So that's sort of where that is right now.
There's a lot going on in legal.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Anti-admin?
And that Eileen also sits with Margaret on the legal committee at this moment, so I have not received an acknowledgement of receipt. Forwarded to her a couple times, I believe now, over the last month, and then asked her to.
I show up there tomorrow, I can.
I would love that. That'd be very helpful. Thank you. And I forwarded the anti-idling, just for those who are, draft, local law, not a resolution that, police chief reviewed for enforcement purposes. This draft resolution suggested it be a local law, anti-idling local law. It's in the files too, and if anyone doesn't know how to access the SharePoint, happy to talk as well. Hopefully all of you have seen that, and if you want to revisit it, that's where it sits, and I can forward it around again. But legal, hopefully will be reviewing and seeing if there are any concerns with this anti-idling piece of legislation.
And as, you know, all this has the same issues of enforcement, so, you know, I don't know. Yeah, but let's see what happens. Okay, so tree grants, so we kind of talked about this, the water jugs, the tree replacements, the tree tags, new grant opportunities around 16 plus a month. The DEC grant, Kathy, which you helped apply for, $250,000. I sent an email to Nancy today.
Yes,
to follow up.
yeah.
So we'll see what
In
happens.
July last.
Say again?
I thought they said that it wouldn't be announced until July.
Oh, maybe.
When we
Okay.
asked.
That's what I remember saying.
Yeah. So,
If we get that, great. If that happens, amazing. It'll be amazing.
Oops, Frank, turn.
Nora, you got a question?
I just had a question about the young trees, they're gonna be protected somehow when they're put into the ground? Will they have like a surrounding, because they're saplings, right?
They are, yeah, they're young trees. I think they're 8 foot. I do not believe additional protection was part of the scope of the work for them to do, but it is something we could recommend. The street tree recipients have a responsibility to care for this. So it's something we could recommend to them to do as a follow-up.
I just know with how many dogs, like neighbors on Fifth, they've just lost one of their shrubs, a full-fledged, like, bush.
Yeah.
From just how many dogs are being on their bush. Anyway, the saplings will be not have a lot of vitality. I mean, they're not robust. So anyways, just something to think
Yeah, but
about.
it's a good point, because I don't know that we've ever done any real active follow-up beyond saying sign this tree steward pledge. I can give them some more specific instructions, maybe I can reach out to you for some advice about
Totally.
recommendations.
There's a lot of neighbors are, I think there's signs everywhere, especially in Union.
Don't be on my.
So, anyway, we can be.
All right,
Okay, next up is
Yeah.
like Tristan.
Oh, I was just.
okay.
All right, well, welcome. Electricity, that was the solar panels on the water.
Right.
I looked, I don't know, I forwarded back an email, I replied to an email, all of you are on it. Well, most of it. And I don't know, if she said that she couldn't find, I don't know if she couldn't find any body of water to do it on or any additional,
that's what it sounded like. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So I don't know how to read that email. I went back, it's back from February too. So we'll see what she says, just to confirm. But we haven't heard from them.
Yeah.
They wanted to do it on Underhill Pond. Any other location was not viable.
Yeah.
So
So it's up to them.
it's up to them, right? They're not waiting on us. Like we haven't heard from them since February. When they said that they didn't know that. So that's it. There's the one. And then do we have any updates on the Columbia County Climate Smart Community? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think that.
The financial plan process is continuing at the level. Not much reward there. So it's pretty low, but, yes, and I think you also sit on the committee that is involved in this process, so perhaps you have to share more.
We had an initial meeting about it. There are, I think, 7 or 8 of us on this committee about how to go about doing the climate action plan. And our discussion was around hiring somebody to do it with us. And we were going through different ways to put a request for proposal together. And a smaller group of us then took over the kind of a subcommittee task of making that happen. So that's as far as we've gotten so far. And we're looking towards essentially the end of next year to produce the plan, the climate action plan. Once we engage somebody and then work on it to wrap it up next year.
Can I just ask a question? If anyone is, I know Hudson had started to have conversations about creating a climate action plan for the city of Hudson last year, the year before. I know that was on our agenda for a while. And I think it was dropped because that was happening. But I don't know if, I don't think that ever happened. But I don't know if there's any.
Who's us? No.
Michael Hoffman.
Oh, that's right.
He was managing that, facilitating that process, and then when he left.
Yeah, one of the things we hope that the towns and the city get out of a county-wide climate action plan is material and data that will help each of the towns and the city do their individual ones. Because, I mean, the resolution of the climate action is on one hand, what's going to happen in our county. And of course, that'll include all the towns. But of course, the actions that that the county as a whole or an individual municipality is going to take be different in scale. What is it that we as a city can do in our 2 square miles, and what effect will that have on the overall system? So we're going to work together. So I'm not seeing right now the urgency of doing a city-specific one when we can kind of work together on a county one that will perhaps be something that will be more meaningful.
Just on that note, town of Greenport is still trying to persuade me to start a CAC in Greenport, and there's no way in hell that could do that. I'm sorry. I can barely hang on to this.
Off the record.
I'm sorry. You can quote me on that.
By which you mean your own bandwidth.
Because,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Right.
They don't have the bandwidth.
I mean,
I don't have the band.
well, but you're not doubting Greenport's ability to do it.
I
And
think
as
if
a
they're
community.
interested.
Yeah.
The town supervisors are interested, and that's why they're asking me to do it, but I think, I don't know anyone else in Greenport who wants to do that. No.
Well, no, which is fine, of course.
So the county thing, if, yeah. I mean,
But, have you encouraged them to kind of put out the word that such things are?
Yeah,
needed
put out
and
the
see-
word back at me.
Well, about who else in the city or the town might be interested in doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, okay,
Might be a couple of other people
might
that
be,
pick up the ball.
sure,
I think Akron had like one person who just went out and like did a whole bunch of stuff. So you could just have like this.
One very energetic person.
what
Right.
year? With
With
just
time
a
and
lot of money and time,
Right. Well, there you go.
sure, yeah.
Put that
great.
in the spec.
Okay.
We need one energetic person.
First, the budget and the request for.
Yeah.
That might be just all the time.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway, All right,
Can I interject a new agenda unrelated to, I'm sure, you know, I should have given this to you. This used to be on their agenda, I know it's dropped off because there hasn't been much activity recently, but the SUNY ESF grant, some of you recall that the city of Clifton went in as a partner on, it has been awarded to SUNY ESF, so that was a successful grant application. So it essentially provides money to SUNY to hire a person to work with the city of Hudson and the city of Pixie to do climate justice, data analysis and community conversations of the process they're outlining right now, building their community partners. I'm in the liaison for the CBC just in that process, and it's a grant coming through the Hudson River Foundation specifically. This is on the Hudson estuary. So I think they're looking to hire someone and start the process in July.
Mhm.
And they are looking for a community organization in the city of Hudson who might want to step up and help connect them, this person with some local community members. There's going to be a community survey of some sort. I know there have been surveys in the past, but I want to build on what we've already done here. And it could be good data for various other buildings, purposes. And some citizen science and part of it as well. So I would love to pass this on to another CAC member because I don't have the bandwidth to take this on, I'm realizing. There's not a lot that needs to happen, but we do need to connect them, sort of be a liaison with a community partner in Hudson, and then just make sure that the process kind of moves ahead, but it's very limited. There's a call coming up in a week or two with the Hudson River Foundation for any partner to join, listen in and learn more. Happy to put anyone who's interested in learning more. I've met maybe 3 times so far with them over the last 6 months, so it's pretty limited.
People that we had a meeting with about the water.
No, not the separate, totally separate from the water.
Yeah.
It's a separate grant focus on climate justice in Hudson. And
I can take it with a couple, might be interested, but.
that'd be great. And great. And there's some money that's actually, if someone wants to be a liaison, there's some money that's built into the grant to support either a community organization or a partner who's working with a community organization. So there's some funding, it's limited, but there's with that, it's like a 2-year process.
Okay.
Nice.
Big.
So if anyone wants to be, I don't know, if it's something you want to connect, right?
Yeah,
Learn more.
I'll learn more.
Yeah, we maybe said.
Yes, that'd be great. And if any new folks are interested in reading up some additional projects that the state could get.
Anything else? No? Okay. That's it. Okay, adopt the tree.
Actually, I went to a school board meeting. They gave me 3 minutes. So do you guys have a rule?
3 minutes.
Yeah.
I was here for your speech. I'm gonna start typing.
Yes. At least you're much more fun-loving.
Ready?
In fact, I kept me a T-shirt.
Says perfection.
All I want is excellence.
Okay, very good.
I have perfection.
Mine's ironic work, so don't worry about it.
Ron.
Okay.
Go.
Story. So, I know, but you know what I said to the school board when they tried to come in? You're gonna have to carry me out.
All right.
You guys look like a pretty energetic group, so I won't make that challenge. But thank you. I was hoping that you had a chance to actually read this or look at it, so I didn't have to it's pretty dense stuff. It's the Senior Citizen Program for Trees. And this document, by the way, this little baby is amazing. This is yours, I think. Isn't this your tree inventory? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, it's wonderful. I think I read in here, there's 1,700 trees, and that's something. And the demographics, I think, this is my own, I don't think I read it here, is very similar to our humanoid demographics, to senior citizens, middle-aged people, little people. The one advantage that trees have over people, I think, is that the senior citizens of trees are actually better for our health than the younger trees. So it is, although some of us might, some of the senior citizens think we still contribute something. But it's a very serious thing we're facing now. I'm half deaf, maybe more than half deaf, so I tend not to hear everything. But I do have there's certain exceptions to that. I don't know how a neurologist explains it, but I can, and somebody says the bar is open, I can hear that. I can also hear National Grid. Because that's kind of what National Grid has gotten me into this thing, my senior citizen. Because minimal impact is another term I'm very familiar with. And it's got, you're gonna have to carry me out. It'll be very easy. But if you've read this, just tell me you read it and then I can stop and you can ask me questions about it. I hope we can start paying attention to our senior citizen trees. I mean, I focused on the 100-year-olds. And I don't see anything in this document that really does the trick. Although now, thanks to the digital age, you can search for health, which I did. And you get to, you get the health of humanoids as a result of the trees, and then you get the health of trees, which is less precisely described here and needs more attention. Questions?
Well, I wonder if the tree ordinance would be appropriate in covering those 100-year-old trees. And I mean, we're already sort of on the way to taking care of trees via the tree ordinance. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, the new tree ordinance? What's it?
I think we're trying to figure out. You can put it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Make it happen. So,
Yep.
but I read your document, right? Is it more about caring the trees for young people? Is that?
Well, that's a marketing deal. I mean, kids love trees. As I said last time, I grew up climbing trees and stuff. I love trees. Kids will love them. And it's hugely education. And it's engaging. If you can get people to hug a tree and to understand a tree, I mean, you've come a long ways toward preserving the trees. So that's, I mean, I grew up with trees and I look over on Hudson and when I see limbs going like this, it means and they're 150 years old. It's for reasons. Every tree is different. So anyway, anything you can do to engage kids would be great. I have a journalism program in the school for the kids, and that this is one of those action things. Teachers could probably do the same thing. So that's.
Have a bunch of kids label the trees out on Harry Howard. So we're working on that too. I understand you're trying to pair younger people with 100-year-old trees and
Well, it's not the
We're also
objective.
trying to get
Save trees.
interested.
So we've got the ones, I went to Michael's little thing at the county the other day, there was all of the going around, who's in charge and who has it. And I just see them as trees. So, I mean, I suggested the county, they start with the courthouse. There's a set number of trees and there's different opinions about what a healthy tree is and a dying tree is. And as I said, I come from places where we trim trees and take care of them. And if you get a 100-year-old tree and start taking care of it, it'll last for 200 years. And that is better for our health if it lasts 200 years.
Sure, absolutely. I think we agree with you.
So are we gonna be able to do this?
I'll carry you out shortly,
Yeah.
but
What's that?
I'll carry you out shortly.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm just asking, what's next? I might have missed this.
The question is, to what extent can you build it in to the
Getting the data.
draft of our
Yeah.
there's a law that we are.
Is this gonna take 10 years or 2 years? We don't know. Because I mean, National Grid, I don't know if you've noticed, but the lines are proliferating.
Yeah.
So every time you see these new lines going up and you're talking about, well, and National Grid says, we'll take care of the trees. They're not gonna take care of the trees because they don't know how to take care of the trees and they're killing the trees. So anyway, I'm not putting that on you, but I'm just asking for your attention. Thank you for the follow up. All right. Very good. Thank you. Good luck and thank you for all you're doing. I mean, I couldn't hear all of them. It sounds great. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
So I didn't read the document, but his concern is, are we following up on that? Is that what we're-
Yes,
His concern is about protecting old trees, so somebody who can prune, who can, yeah.
Right.
And so that would be someone somewhat specialized to be able to like go in and tend to them.
what I have is the names of the two people at National Grid who is supposedly related to, you know, when they put in new lines, what trees will get taken down. The trees he's talking about, some of them are also on county property. So, you know, we have our tree inventory is City of Hudson tree inventory. Which I don't know if that includes the county trees or not. But go ahead.
I think there's like, there are good issues. I yeah, I don't know if pairing young people with trees and, it feels like maybe not a city initiative.
Well,
Maybe
that
somebody
was,
versus-
that was a means to an end to raise public consciousness. It's not the heart of what we're trying to do here, which is to preserve mature trees from lack of attention.
Yeah.
And he has a special bee in his bonnet about National Grid doing destructive pruning essentially, which in some cases meant taking the entire tree out or we're just damaging it to the
Yeah,
point where
taking out the
it'd be
leader.
really hard to survive.
Mhm.
So I think the point from our point of view is where can we either advocate for this or require it? What can we do to preserve the mature trees in our community?
Like, I guess the reason why I put it to you is because why couldn't we have something in the ordinance that says that it's not just about the owners of these trees, it's also about like when other institutions come in to do work around the trees in our town.
Yeah, I think National Grid, the version of this National Grid in particular has like a by-right.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
that's right.
What happens is
Right.
that they go to the county, they get a court order
Yeah.
that they can chop it down, right? They can prune it.
Yeah.
But
Their easement, where the power lines has
Has-
granted
Right.
a sale,
Mm.
but we have, even as city, we have no
Right.
confidence.
The state said that all state county buildings have to have electric car chargers, right? Fine. So now there's like behind 401 state, there's some, that the county courthouse has some. And so then by that directive, the National Grid just went in, and put in the power lines for all these electric car chargers. Now, if I'm going to put in more car charging stations down by Amtrak and by the dog park, what I'm doing first is I'm connecting with National Grid to make sure that are any trees going to be shaken down because of those additional electric car charging stations? You know, I mean, yes, we could have a level 3 right here behind City Hall, but what does that entail? You know, we have to, who knows, right? So I'm making sure that we have like minimal infrastructure. If we're going to put these in, it has to have minimal impact. And that's why I contacted the people at National Grid, and I have the contacts to do that. So those are the contacts that, you know, probably needs, or, you know, so that when the county puts these in by the courthouse, they don't trim these trees too much. Does that make sense?
Could we, I mean, really, go back to the tree ordinance, could we consider, I mean, if we could get political, could we consider, I mean, right now, some trees in public way, right? Could we consider adding and trees over a certain age.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like
It doesn't necessarily.
Some cities have done that. There's a certain point at which it becomes kind of the community's interest to preserve the tree which is on your property.
Mhm.
I think the trick has been trying to
Yeah, that's right.
get it through and get a very busy set of other volunteers, basically, from council.
Yeah,
I mean, like, for instance, there's this huge tree on State and Fifth behind someone's house, you know, that, and God forbid, they, you know, someone wants to take down that tree.
is it easier to like just put the ordinance through as it is and then ask to make amendments
So.
later?
So,
Yeah,
There's also
So-
been previous.
we could tell him that that's an amendment that we're working
Yeah,
on making, once we get,
Also, anything
and
else.
then we'll,
Anything's possible.
But I can say that the litter straight was previous scale fence,
right,
passive
right,
thing, so I am very cognizant of that.
yeah,
Failure.
But look, we wanted to make an exception that says, yes, it's for trees in the public way and trees over a certain diameter.
Yeah, I think that would actually be good potential middle grounds.
Right.
Some of the previous pushback was like, I've got this little sapling thing, you're gonna tell me I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we did over a certain diameter or circumference, whatever, and age maybe, that,
Meaning if we did, meaning saying in that piece of legislation, resolution, you can't take this down, and what is the doing?
even if it's on private property, that if it's over a certain age or diameter, that would be included in the tree ordinance.
Or you have to get
Permission.
permission.
Yeah.
But then I mean, this is like, not,
Right.
it's like, who are you getting permission from?
Yeah.
And
It's- It's sticky. It's
Yeah.
not easy.
I mean, in part too, it just goes towards the caretaking of these older trees, which is something I was talking about earlier. Seeing if we could find some funding
right,
to actually get a grant,
So you're gonna-
look for grants that we could actually do some work on them. Would be more realistic, I think, than the public awareness thing would be great. Adopting, but we need the actual service done.
yeah.
Time and work.
Well, it all seems intertwined.
It does.
Right, doesn't it?
Like
Someone like roots, mushrooms.
You know, I'm thinking now that perfection relates to that kids game, they have to put everything in really quickly, otherwise it just pops.
Are you talking about doctor or whatever that?
Perfection. No, perfection is the game where you have 60 seconds on time. That's what I'm thinking of now. Any other issues right now anything else? We motion to adjourn? Oh,
Little question.
Yeah. Too late.
go ahead.
That grant, that was the environmental resilience grant that came through, was like working with the people on the waterfront, something, and I was gonna address it, but I wasn't really sure what runoff or whatever issues were for Hudson, and I've been MIA for the past couple of weeks, so I did follow up, but you still wanna partner with these people?
This, okay, which waterfront grants is this? This is
It's called
the
an
dollar.
environmental resilience.
Oh, and by the way, did I send, we had another issue. We brought up the algae, sorry, the algae bloom last month.
Right.
But I think, did I forward to you the youth
Yeah.
department document?
Yeah,
Right, so they are working on that. They are,
And it's not,
yeah,
it's locked,
not,
right,
it's just a fill.
because there's a few waterfront projects. There's Fagari, there's the one in Rick's Point, and then there's the state that's redoing that parking lot project.
Or with JD Resource Group,
Oh, that's right.
the environmental consulting company,
I'm sorry, you're right, I forgot.
but I don't, I just, if Hudson is currently experiencing issues with, if anybody knows, trying with coastal climate and or flooding management, and I had no freaking idea about that.
Is it actually-
But, you know, any grant is worth exploring. I think so, whatever.
Should we bring them in for a meeting? To
Yeah, why not?
Bring them in for next month? maybe?
Sure.
Have them come
Talk about it.
We've had people evaluate our waterfront eye towards flood resistant development.
Yeah.
So yes, it does flood.
Okay, so, you know, I just didn't know, honestly, you know, I have no idea.
Well, I'll respond to them that we are, I'm sorry, sorry. So I'll respond that we are interested in being seven. I'll come here. Yeah, I forgot.
And I-
Thank you.
And said, yeah, sure, raise my hand.
All right, now, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Yes.
Motion, everyone. Here we go.
Woo!
And that's perfection.
Yay!